All right. Let's dive into this, shall we?
Yeah.
So you're aiming for a PhD scholarship in a developed country, no less.
Ambitious. I like it.
Ambitious, yes, and a goal worth aiming for. But these fully funded opportunities, they're like trying to catch a shooting star. Super competitive.
Oh, absolutely.
But you've sent over this guide, which we're going to really unpack today, and it seems seriously helpful. So consider this your crash course, scholarship boot camp, all rolled into one.
I'm ready to dive in.
Okay, good. Because one thing I appreciate about this guide is it doesn't just list scholarships. It's like, okay, here's your game plan.
Yeah, strategy is key.
Right. Like, first of all, where to even look? University website, sure. But then it talks about, like, country-specific resources.
Which can be incredibly valuable.
Right. And then it breaks it down by the types of scholarships. Like, okay, DAD, Fulbright, Erasmus Mundus.
It's important to be aware of all the options. A lot of students, they hyper-focus on those big names.
Oh, totally, yeah.
But you'd be surprised how many niche scholarships are out there.
Ooh, tell me more about this. This is already sounding like a treasure hunt.
Right. Think about it. Smaller organizations, often less competition, they may have very specific funding for, say, your exact research area.
That makes so much sense.
So casting a wide net early on is really crucial. And one thing that's really helped some of my students, leveraging professional networks.
Yeah, the guide mentioned LinkedIn. Is that what you're thinking?
LinkedIn, ResearchGate. Imagine you're researching, I don't know, a specific type of algae.
Okay, very specific. Love it.
Found only in certain freshwater lakes. By connecting with researchers in that niche field, you might find a scholarship from a conservation organization dedicated to that very ecosystem.
Whoa. That's what I call targeted. It's like you're not just hoping to get lucky, you're playing scholarship detective.
Exactly. And speaking of being proactive,
Yes.
the guide mentioned reaching out to potential supervisors directly.
Ooh, is that a good idea?
Yeah.
Because it feels a little, I don't know, forward.
It can be a game changer, but it has to be done right. Don't just send out a generic email. You want to demonstrate a genuine interest in their work.
Okay, so how do you do that?
Let's say you're interested in artificial intelligence and music composition. You find a professor doing really cool work in that area. Don't just say, hey, I love your work. Highlight a specific paper, connect it to your own interests, express enthusiasm for contributing to that field.
So it's more about sparking a connection.
Precisely. You want them to see you as a potential mentee even before the official application process starts.
Okay, so we've talked about finding those scholarships, right? Those hidden gems, and even like getting the guts to reach out to potential supervisors.
Building those relationships early can be so beneficial.
But this guy doesn't mess around. It's like, hold on, none of that matters if you don't nail this part. And they list out the requirements.
It's the reality check.
Yeah. Stellar academics, obviously. But then, mind-blowing research proposal, and of course, the standardized tests.
The IELTS, the TOEFL, the GRE, GMAT. Yeah, it can feel like a lot.
It's enough to make anyone sweat a little. But I do appreciate how the guide breaks down why those factors matter so much.
Because it's about painting a picture, right, of you as an applicant. So your GPA, for instance, high GPA, it's not just about good grades. It's showing you can handle the rigor of this kind of program.
Proving you can handle the pressure cooker before they even let you in the kitchen.
Exactly. And then the research proposal, this is huge because now you're not just showing you're good at studying, you're showing you can think like a researcher.
It's like your academic audition, almost.
Yes. It's where you get to showcase that potential. So it's not enough to just have an interesting idea. You have to show how you're actually going to bring that idea to life.
Okay, so what makes a research proposal really sing? What are they looking for?
Well, a well-crafted proposal, it outlines the research gap clearly. Like what's missing in the current research? What don't we know yet? And then a feasible methodology. How are you going to address that gap? And, of course, the potential contributions to the field.
So it's that critical thinking, that creativity, showing you can actually contribute something new.
That's what they're looking for. And this is where those standardized tests come in, too.
Right, because it's one thing to have the ideas, it's another to be able to communicate them clearly.
Exactly. So your GPA, your proposal, those show your academic abilities. But those standardized tests, they demonstrate mastery of these fundamental skills you need at this level. Communicating your ideas effectively. In English, written, spoken, analyzing complex data, drawing meaningful conclusions. That's crucial for any research, really.
It all ties together, doesn't it? So they're looking for well-rounded people,
Yeah.
not just book smarts.
Right. You have to be able to thrive in that demanding academic world.
And speaking of the research proposal, the guide mentioned tailoring it to potential supervisors.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. But how do you make it stand out while also making it clear you've done your homework on their work?
That's where the real strategy comes in. Let's say you're passionate about renewable energy. Specifically, you're fascinated by using algae to create biofuels. You find a professor who specializes in algal genetics. They've published tons on biofuel potential. That's a match made in research heaven.
Okay, I'm seeing where you're going with this.
Your proposal could focus on a very specific aspect of algal genetics that links directly back to their work. You're demonstrating an understanding of their research, but you're also carving out your own little niche within that.
So it's about finding that sweet spot. Your passions, the university's strengths, you're showing you're not just applying to any PhD program, you're applying to this one because it fits perfectly with your academic goals.
Exactly. You've done your research, you understand the field, and you're strategically choosing this program because it's the perfect environment for you to thrive as a researcher.
Okay, we've uncovered those hidden scholarship gems. We've talked about crafting that killer research proposal, the one that aligns with your passions and what the university is all about.
The stakes are high.
They really are. But now comes the part that, honestly, can feel like climbing a mountain. The application itself. And this guide, bless their hearts, they give you a pretty intense checklist of documents.
It's daunting, no doubt.
Transcripts, CV, recommendation letters. I'm getting stressed just thinking about it.
Right. But remember, each piece of this, it's telling your story.
Oh, like that.
It's building a narrative. This is your journey as a scholar.
Yeah. And speaking of telling your story, the guide is really big on meticulousness. Like, attention to detail matters.
Oh, it makes a difference. Dates, formatting, clear language, those things show professionalism. It shows you care.
It's like those little details in a research paper. A missing citation, suddenly it throws the whole thing off.
Exactly.
And speaking of things that can make or break it, recommendation letters. What makes a recommendation letter really sing, in your opinion?
It's got to go beyond the generic, the student got good grades, we need more. The best ones, they give you specific examples. Illustrate research abilities, work ethic, that potential for success at this level.
So who you ask really matters.
It's not just finding the person with the fanciest title. It's someone who can really speak to your abilities, who's seen your potential in action.
They need to be your champion, basically.
Yeah. Yes. Think about those professors, mentors, maybe even supervisors from projects you've done. They've witnessed your passion firsthand. They've challenged you. Those are the voices that a scholarship committee is going to listen to.
Now, one thing that surprised me in the guide, they emphasized skills beyond academics.
Yes, this is important.
It's like they want well-rounded humans, not just academic robots.
Because PhD programs, they're recognizing that a vibrant academic community, it thrives on diversity. And that means diversity of experience, of perspective.
So leadership roles, volunteer work, even those specific technical skills, those paint a picture too.
They show who you are as a person, absolutely. Imagine two applicants, identical GPAs, proposals, but one's volunteered for years at a science museum inspiring kids, the other one, just academics.
Yeah, that first one, that passion for sharing knowledge, that stands out.
Right. It shows you're not just there to take, you're there to give back.
To contribute something bigger.
Yes.
We've covered a lot of ground, haven't we? I mean, we've gone from unearthing these hidden scholarship opportunities to crafting a stellar application, highlighting not just your grades, but what makes you you.
It's a holistic process.
It really is.
Yeah.
But as we kind of come to the final bend in this deep dive, I want to shift gears just a little bit. Let's talk about mindset.
Oh, this is crucial.
Because this journey, it's not just about checking boxes. It's about mental fortitude. Would you agree?
100%. The PhD journey, it's intellectually and emotionally demanding. There will be setbacks, moments of doubt.
Mm-hmm.
You need resilience.
So how can our listeners cultivate that? How do you prepare for the bumps in the road?
For me, it starts with understanding setbacks are not failures. They're learning moments. Every rejection, every experiment that doesn't quite go as planned, it's a chance to reflect, to adjust, and to come back stronger.
It's that whole growth mindset thing. Challenges are stepping stones.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to reach out for support. Mentors, peers, online communities, sharing those experiences, the highs, the lows, it makes a difference.
It's that sense of community, right? You're not alone. Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, do you have one maybe unconventional piece of advice For aspiring PhD students out there.
Oh, unconventional. Embrace failure.
Ooh, tell me more. This is good.
It sounds crazy, but research, it comes with inherent failure. It's part of discovering anything new. The key is to learn from it, extract those lessons, and then you use those lessons to fuel your future success.
That's powerful. It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent and resilient and maybe a little bit brave to face the unknown.
Yes, absolutely.
We covered so much today, practical stuff like how to find those scholarships, how to apply, but also the importance of telling your story and having that unbreakable spirit.
It's a journey, wouldn't you say?
It is. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
So true. Start early, manage your time, build your support network, and never, ever lose sight of that passion for research. Those setbacks, those challenges, those might lead to the most amazing discoveries.
That's a great note to end on.
Isn't it? Our deep dive may be over, but your journey, it's just beginning. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep reaching for those academic stars. We're rooting for you. Until next time.